Severe weather season is upon us, and here in Central Texas, the threat is real. 6
months ago, we experienced some of the worst flooding in our history.
The force of raging lakes and rivers wiped out a bridge in the hill country and sent boats and docks over the dams meant to control the Colorado River. The floodwaters came as a surprise to many, including a woman who was swept away.
City of Llano told KXAN investigator Aaron Cargile it can do more to save lives.
She got up and took a shower. She left here by 5 o'clock. That day I kept calling her and calling her and calling her and no answer. So I figured something was wrong, you know.
Tommy Whitehead's mother, a nursing assistant, never made it to work, a mile and a half away. Her route required crossing Flag Creek in the dark and in the middle of the storm. This is what it looked like when the sun came up. Hours later, Tommy's friend spotted something and alerted police.
I let him know, hey, there's a car down here in the water. And they went down there, and I waited till another officer got there, and then the fire department pulled up, and then we left.
Sure enough, the car belonged to Becky Biddy. Her body was still inside, something police didn't discover until the vehicle was hauled to the wrecker yard. Even more troubling.
I know my mom, she would have never went around no barricades or anything like that.
When the lady drove in, there was probably no barricades there at that time.
Glenn Pittman believes the barricades were washed away. He lives right next to the low water crossing and barely saved his 3 horses.
Stormy,
that's fitting,
Woodrow, and Baby.
He's never seen the creek rise so fast and get so high.
I put the historical 1935 mark up there, and there's the 2018 mark.
We put it up where we would normally have it, especially expecting 26 feet of flood water.
Llano Police Chief Mike Scoggins says the street department placed 6 of these cones across the road the day before the storm.
Do you believe the barricades were gone when Rebecca Biddy drove through here?
I had no idea.
To me, it sounds like it's highly likely they weren't here anymore, especially if at one point the water was up.
Well, it definitely got washed away.
Yeah.
We just don't know when.
That's because during the height of the flooding, the chief says officers never came by to check.
You got to remember, our department, we were only half-staffed at the time.
A department of 8 was down to 4. On top of that, it was the chief's first day on the job.
It's one of the most hectic days I've ever had to work.
After 33 years working homicides for the Dallas Police Department, he was up against flooding more severe than most in this city had ever seen.
They could have put a fire truck there or a police car or something, you know. Maybe that would have saved her.
The chief says fire and police were swamped responding to calls, and no one was parked along the dark, flooded road, stopping drivers.
We just don't have the manpower to fully block off the intersections. This isn't Austin, this isn't Dallas. You know, this is Llano of 3,500 people. We were very fortunate, to be honest with you, that we only lost 1 person.
74 miles away, this video from December shows just how fast it can happen. A Travis County deputy is behind the wheel, on her way to help someone stranded in a flooded low water crossing. Deputy Jamie Spates drives right into it.
I am stuck. My vehicle is stuck, but I am not moving.
Radios for help and then climbs on the hood of her SUV with water up to the bumper. You can hear the man she's here to help.
Sir, can you hear me?
Eventually, Starflight lifts her to safety, and rescue crews save the man stuck in a tree.
It hurts me to my core to hear that on the radio or to get a phone call saying that one of our guys is stuck out there in the water. It really brings me back to Jessica Hollis when she passed away.
In 2014, Travis County lost one of their own, swept away in floodwaters. It led to changes with barricades at all low water crossings in the county.
How do you decide where they're going to go?
Number 1, we try to place multiple layers of barricades.
When possible, Travis County adds 2 layers of protection. They barricade the road a few hundred feet from the crossing and then barricade it again at the closest intersection so drivers can easily turn on to a new route instead of getting stuck at the barricade and making a U-turn. Deputies also try to check the barricades every hour.
I would say the number of water rescues have definitely gone down.
Deputy Spates also had a life jacket on from the water rescue kit she's required to keep in the passenger seat of her car during severe weather. It's for her own safety or someone she's helping. Back in Llano, I asked Chief Scoggins what will change.
If we ever expect another flooding incident, I'm sure we'll be blocking it off at the intersection.
He's also hoping the city can come up with some cash to buy larger barricades with blinking lights. These are in Travis County, something a driver can see in the dark in the middle of a storm.
We can only hope that we're ready for the next one. We'll be better prepared for the next one.
This is my mom.
Tommy wishes those lessons were learned long before he lost his mom.
There ain't nothing they can do to bring her back, you know.
And can only hope there's a better plan in place when the next flood hits.
She loved people. Now she's gone.
In Llano, Aaron Cargile, KXAN investigates.
The Llano police chief says the city and county will be meeting to come up with better coordinated response plans when severe weather strikes. He also hopes to have his department back up to full staffing by May.
We also checked on the price of a more visible barricade with blinking lights. This type of roadblock with one light and a road closed sign costs about $265.
Online now, you can watch the raw, unedited video of the Travis County Deputy Water Rescue. You can also read the full incident report from the Llano Police Department, which details the timeline of events on the day Becky Biddy died.